5 facts about Jesus that many people don't know. Jesus Christ is the most famous person who ever lived. More books have been written about him than any other person in history. His words are studied in virtually every country on the face of the earth. So how can there be any unique facts about Jesus that you probably don't know? Many believe that Master Jesus Christ was just a human or a teacher of matchless wisdom. According to the Holy Scriptures, however, he goes beyond these visions, and one of the complicated things to understand about Jesus is his humanity. There are so many things that we may never know about Jesus, but here are 5 interesting facts about Jesus that might surprise you. The first one is, probably Jesus was not born on December 25th. This may be surprising, but the Bible does not tell us the date Jesus was born. We also don't know for sure why Christmas is celebrated on December 25th, though many assume it's because the Roman emperor chose this time of a year in order to draw attention away from pagan holidays taking place around the same time. If Jesus Christ wasn't born on December 25th, does the Bible indicate when he was born? The biblical accounts point to the fall of the year as the most likely time of Jesus' birth, based on the conception and birth of John the Baptist. Luke 1:26-31:26 reads, "In the 6th month of Elizabeth's pregnancy, God sent the angel Gabriel to Nazareth, a town in Galilee, to a virgin pledged to be married to a man named Joseph, a descendant of David. The virgin's name was Mary. The angel went to her and said, 'Greetings, you who are highly favored. The Lord is with you.' Mary was greatly troubled at his words and wondered what kind of greeting this might be. But the angel said to her, 'Do not be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God. You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you are to call him Jesus.' Since Elizabeth, John's mother, was in her 6th month of pregnancy when Jesus was conceived, we can determine the approximate time of year Jesus was born if we know when John was born. John's father, Zacharias, was a priest serving in the Jerusalem temple during the course of Abijah. Historical calculations indicate this course of service corresponded to June 13, 19 in that year. It was during this time of temple service that Zacharias learned that he and his wife Elizabeth would have a child. After he completed his service and traveled home, Elizabeth conceived. Assuming John's conception took place near the end of June, adding 9 months brings us to the end of March as the most likely time for John's birth. Adding another 6 months, the difference in ages between John and Jesus, brings us to the end of September as the likely time of Jesus' birth. The second fact is that Jesus wasn't white. Although we have a lot of paintings in our museums that paint Jesus as a tall, white, Scandinavian guy with a beard, Jesus was actually of Jewish descent and would have been a guy with dark skin and shaggy dark hair. Jesus was a Middle Eastern Jew, and forensic scientists have even done facial reconstruction of 2,000-year-old skulls from Palestine in order to get a sense of what Jesus might have looked like. With olive skin, black hair and large nose, this facial reconstruction looks nothing like the Jesus we typically see in art, with long curly brown hair, white skin and blue eyes. Anthropologists have even exposed the notion that Jesus had long flowing locks. Jewish men of the day cropped their hair short. The third fact is that Jesus had brothers and sisters. The New Testament explicitly mentions that Jesus had brothers called James, Joseph, Jude, and Simon, along with at least 2 sisters who go unnamed. Far from being particularly astonished by their sibling, they initially did not believe in him. At one point, they're even a little critical of Jesus' methods, advising him to go to more populous areas, because no one who wants to become a public figure acts in secret. It's important to note that Christians do differ on the precise nature of their relationship with Jesus. Many believe they were indeed the children of Mary and Joseph, conceived in a conventional way after the miraculous virgin birth of Christ. However, many others believe Mary remained a virgin all her life. According to this school of thought, the words brothers and sisters were being used in a broader sense, referring either to Jesus' cousins or step-siblings, potentially Joseph's offspring from a prior marriage. The fourth fact is that Jesus worked as a craftsman before he begins the ministry. Jesus was raised as a carpenter, following in the footsteps of Joseph, who was known for this skill. Jesus' familiarity with this craft is confirmed when the crowd recognizes him during a sermon in his hometown. Mark 6:3. He's just a carpenter, the son of Mary and the brother of James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon. This title reflects his ability to work with his hands, but also hints at a broader metaphor for his capacity to build and repair lives and communities. The fifth fact is about Jesus' ministry, which he began at age 30. Jesus began his public ministry at about the age of 30, according to Luke 3:23, where it is described how Jesus, supposedly the son of Joseph, entered his mission. This age is significant because, according to Jewish tradition, a man must be at least 30 years old to serve as a priest. This coincidence highlights that Jesus began his ministry at the age deemed mature for spiritual leadership. However, this does not imply a rigid rule that everyone must wait until a certain age to begin their ministry, but rather emphasizes the preparation and timing for Jesus' ministry. The first miracle of Jesus occurred at the wedding in Cana, Galilee, marking the beginning of his public ministry. When the wine ran out, a significant problem for parties that could last several days, Mary, his mother, trusted that Jesus could solve the problem. Although drunkenness was prohibited in the Old Testament, wine was a symbol of celebration and joy. Jesus instructed the servants to fill 6 stone jars with water, which he then turned into wine of excellent quality, surprising the banquet host, who was used to serving the best wine first. This miracle not only saved the party, but also demonstrated the transformative change Jesus can bring to the lives of those who trust and obey him. Though he was not yet ready to fully reveal his identity, this act showed his glory to his disciples, strengthening their faith. This was the first of the signs, as John describes it, showcasing Jesus' supernatural power. Jesus raised 3 people from the dead, demonstrating his power over life and death in remarkable ways. Each resurrection also reveals his deep compassion. The first miracle occurred when Jesus and his followers attended the burial of a widow's only son in Nain. Touched by the woman's situation, Jesus intervened and brought the young man back to life, causing admiration among those present. At another time, Jairus, the synagogue leader's daughter, was declared dead. Ignoring the doubts of those around him, Jesus went to the girl, brought her back to life, and asked her parents to keep the miracle secret. The third case involved Lazarus, who had been dead for 4 days when Jesus arrived in Bethany. In front of a mourning crowd, Jesus called Lazarus out of the tomb, and he was resurrected, strengthening the faith of many in his divine power. These acts not only confirm Jesus' power, but also foreshadow his own resurrection, symbolizing the promise of eternal life. Discovering lesser-known facts about Jesus can deepen our understanding of his life and teachings, from the probable timing of his birth to his appearance as a Middle Eastern Jew with siblings and a carpentry background. These insights paint a more nuanced picture of the historical Jesus. His ministry, starting at 30, highlighted his spiritual maturity and transformative power, seen in his miracles of turning water into wine and raising the dead. These events showcase Jesus' compassion, authority over life and death, and the promise of eternal life. Delving into these details can enrich our faith and appreciation of his legacy. Share these insights, subscribe for more revelations, and continue exploring the timeless wisdom of Jesus Christ. Thank you for watching. May God bless you.